Have you ever seen a Chinese restaurant commercial ever?
They was not lying when they said that if it says like frozen dairy dessert, it's not ice cream.
Where you going if America falls?
I don't think we survive, brother.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. Hit that thumbs up before we get started. Let's get into it.
Why don't you make the homes look like a mushroom? Follow the curvature of nature, and you won't have to worry about rebuilding them in hurricane zones or in tornado zones. It'll go right over it. They don't make airplanes that's just a straight box. They've allowed it to be aerodynamic and curved. They moved away from the straight lines in that aspect. In boats, they don't have the Noah's Ark moving across like this. They don't do that.
Well, there have been some key sightings of these to support the claims. And I'm going to mispronounce this, so bear with me. Mokele Mbembe.
Okay.
And that's the name of the place. A sauropod-like creature, think a mini brachiosaurus, reported in the Congo Basin swamps since the early 1900s by locals and explorers. Described as 15 to 30 feet long with a long neck/tail, it's said to live in rivers/lakes.
So whatever this is, it had wider eye sockets and apparently larger eyes than a normal human.
Because the reason I asked about the covers is because what a lot of experiencers talk about is the fact that they have very large black.
That's exactly where I was going.
Black eyes, and I'm wondering whether
No human,
these were there were pupils inside of these slits, but there was some form of protection.
What I find uncanny about this is if you look at the description of the conventional grey alien being, they have these gigantic eyes, the enlarged, elongated head. It's quite chilling to see something like this here.
News Nation's Reality Check with Ross Coulthart. Watch now on our YouTube channel.
What didn't go right with the Big Mamas? Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. I believe it was a curse that went with that, because nothing went right since then. Cat Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress.
Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got me.
Brandon T. Jackson says he thought Cat was just clowning him back then. But looking back, he believes it was deeper than that.
I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me.
Do you ever get people heckle?
If they do, shut them down. Call me when you want some. Yeah, tell Cat Williams I said
he was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I was immature. I felt like, dang, I was trying to make it. Why you bashing me?
Don't give me that about I wore a dress. Yeah, you wore a perm.
He loves Cat Williams.
Yeah, I do love him, but he calling me out raw now. Come on.
The awakened Brandon, you couldn't pay him $1 trillion to get a dress. That scene on the lottery ticket. After that, they were pushing his dress on me. There was something about that scene that touched a lot of people, and I thought, I think it was too real. Right there. I think they did the same thing like to Tupac. When they too real, they started looking at you like, hold on, how this slip past us? Who's this guy? You know what? Yeah, he might be a kid. Just put him in a dress.
Have you ever seen a Chinese restaurant commercial ever? And Panda Express doesn't count.
No.
Okay, there's 45,000 Chinese restaurants in America. And they don't have any commercials?
Not at all. The Chinese government poured more concrete in the continent of Africa last year than the entire size of the United States of America.
Jeez. So, again, what are we talking about? We're talking about 5e chess. We're talking about China completely infiltrating America on every level, right? So, not only that, another guy just got picked up by ICE. He had a shop called Yaya Noodles / Sushi John. Okay.
Sushi John.
Sushi John.
So suspicious. Yo,
okay.
Shop for Sushi John.
He just got picked up by ICE by being a Chinese spy. And this is his second time getting picked up.
What?
So they just gave him probation.
And to expound on your...
Are you on anything?
Yeah, of course. You can never guess what I'm on.
Be honest. Yeah, I can. I can guess. Meth. No?
That's one of them. How about that? That's one of them, dog. Never ever could you guess.
Crack.
I'll bet you. You got one more choice. I'll give this back to you. If you guess one more choice, then you'll give this back to you.
Coke.
You owe me $10.
$10? You said $1, bro.
You owe me a hit.
I'll give you $1 then.
Yeah.
I knew for sure you were gonna guess. by the questions that you're asking me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how experienced I am.
Spend it wisely, man.
I'm gonna spend on drugs right now. I'm gonna get swept over. I'm gonna lose everything I have on. Come back brand new, fresh as fuck. That's how I do things, dog.
Okay.
But every bitch wants to suck my dick. That's why I get kicked out everywhere I go, dog.
All right, homie, take care.
Hey, homie.
That is a crazy character.
Crazy fool.
People are really, really angry right now at me. Like, listen, I'm just this random dude who has a YouTube channel online. I don't belong to any secret society. I don't have any power. I don't belong to any powerful faction. Okay, so it's very easy to like, you know, to like get at me. Okay, and I have like 3 young kids, and so I need to worry about my own personal safety now. Right, because I guarantee you, like, you know, I'm in Beijing right now where people don't really know me. But if I were to step on the streets of New York City or anywhere in Canada or Europe, I'm pretty sure I would get punched in the face. People are really, really angry right now at me, and I can feel the hate and the vitriol online. That's number 2. And number 3 is
the professor then discusses his future plans and what his next goal is.
Given that I'm interested in industrial speculation, I think the next step for me is to write a book, to really bring my ideas onto the page so I can look at it closely and refine it and really bring it out to market. And like, you know, like doing this series on game theory, there's so much demand for this, right? There's so much demand for like, tell us the theories, tell us what's really going on, give us a theoretical framework for how we ourselves can develop a better understanding of the world.
Y'all are
Just
gonna
gave you
think
the
I'm
game right
crazy,
there,
and
y'all.
that's okay. But the ones who are awake, they understand. Do you ever just look out and look at the ground and really, really wonder what is right underneath you? And I don't mean like dirt and lava and earth. I mean like who or what? I look out into this field right here sometimes behind my house, and it just gives me the eeriest vibe. And if you guys had already seen my video from months back when we saw those flying orbs in the sky, and I told you there was like a humming from the tree line, I literally cannot stop thinking about the energy in this field. I cannot stop thinking about there could be whole living systems, if you catch my drift, underneath your houses. And another thing I want to ask you, do you guys remember, this is like a Mandela effect for me because I cannot find this video anywhere on the internet. Do you guys not remember a couple years back, there was like an Amish man who got caught running from out of a city sewer, and he was like running, he was like holding onto his hat, and he was just like running down the street? That video is completely scrubbed from the internet. You cannot find that video anywhere.
Why is AOC shutting her mouth about Israel? Because AOC's donors are big Israeli tech people. She's been silenced, and she's trying to run for president too. Is AOC out there about Israel? No. No, because she's a fraud.
I don't think she was when she first started.
She wasn't, but she's ambitious. She wants to be the president. Can you get up who her donors are, Jamie, these Israeli tech people? It's kind of interesting because this actually just kind of came out.
2 Israeli startup entrepreneurs played roles in the rise of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She pulled out of an event commemorating Rabin. Some concluded that AOC doesn't like Israelis, but 2 were instrumental in the lawmaker's early career. That's where it gets weird. They find you when you're young.
They find you when you're making mojitos.
They find you when you're young and promising, like JD.
Well, that's the thing. JD's going to have to, if he wants to be the president, he's going to have to say, Peter Thiel, I'm not.
Antichrist.
He's going to have to say, Peter Thiel is Satan, and here's why that's good.
You know, they what's crazy is the more you see people that come out, like that basketball player that came out and said what he said about LGBT, you know what he's doing now? He's preaching on the streets, right? That's what he's doing now. He was up here, now he's down here preaching on the streets. So it lets you know these people that are so for ICE or are so against ICE, right? The left and the right, like, and the left can do no right and the right can do no wrong. These people are just sellouts. They're sellouts, right? We call out both sides over here, right? We call out both sides, and It's nothing's gonna change, y'all, because nothing's changing.
Weigh this 5-pound bag of potatoes to see if it's actually 5 pounds.
Hell no.
3.15.
It's 2 pounds short.
Wow. So this is at Walmart. We'll try this one. Maybe this is 5 pounds. 3.49. 5-pound bag of potatoes. See if we can find a 5-pounder.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. 4.84. We're getting there.
Get her
Try this
done.
one.
Get her done.
All the potatoes are not even weighing up to their... Oh, here's 550.
This is the first time in human history we have been dunking chicken and turkey in chlorine, labeling it as organic, and people are buying the ish out of it. 97% of chickens processed in the US are bathed in chlorine. And yes, that includes certified organic, you know, the premium stuff that we're all paying extra money for at Whole Foods or Erewhon. Here's why. Industrial farming processes thousands of chickens in the same bath. If one bird's carrying salmonella, it spreads to the entire batch. So the USDA solution, well, we will mandate a chlorine bath. Chlorine washed chicken is banned in the European Union for good reason. They looked at the process and said, yeah, I'm out. But here in the States, federal regulators don't even disclose. Companies put whatever they want on the label. It's crazy. So you have no idea that you're buying pool chicken or turkey. So what can you eat? Look for both air-chilled and pasture-raised on the package. The birds live normal lives and then they pass into the afterlife in a cold chamber, which is the most humane way to do it. No cross-contamination, no chemical residue, just real chicken that hasn't been marinated in cleaning supplies. I'm Drew Canoli, and I'm on a mission to transform 100 million lives. Let's go.
What would be the effect if we wind up with digital programmable currency?
If we move there, then if I want you to not be able to leave your home, your money won't work if you leave your home. If I want you to be able to eat foods made with insects and not be able to buy real meat, your money won't work to buy real meat. If I want you to take a vaccine a month and I mandate vaccines for you and your family, if you don't, I'll turn off your money. So I have complete control of your food, your healthcare, your spatial travel, everything. So you are no longer in a democracy or a democratic republic. You are in a slavery system.
Firmament, it can't be penetrated. So there's different levels of heaven. That's why they call it outer space, not space. Within the firmament is space. There is heaven. We fly in the heavens on a plane. But then there's a higher heaven. That's why God, the Heavenly Father, is called the Most High. Because there's levels to this.
Yeah, it's certainly.
So you didn't know you were getting all of this.
The hair of this being was red. The skin was pale, white. He said it had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. And the feet were wrapped in a very primitive canvas type wrapping. And he said he and the guys that were standing around the body were actually taking their boots and putting it up to the foot. And he said it was, twice as big as 3 times bigger than everybody's boot. I mean, the feet were enormous. They're all putting their feet up to the foot. And he said this thing was solid as a rock. They were all kind of tapping it on the top. And he said it was like a brick. I mean, this thing was just like solid muscle. He said it could have been some rigor mortis or whatever, but I mean, it was apparent from what you could see of this dude that he was a brick house. So
how tall?
So the pallet was 9 feet long and he's in the fetal position. So they estimated his size at 10 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
They weighed the giant. They weighed this being because they had to weigh it. The loadmaster had to weigh it before they put it on the C-130. He weighed, the whole thing weighed, I think they told me, and I could be wrong, but I think it was 1,500 pounds. And then when you subtract all the dunnage and the pallet and whatever else, I know that the final weight was 1,100 pounds. The final weight was 11. Yeah. And he told me for sure. He said the weight was, this thing weighed 1,100 pounds. And so you can imagine, let's say it was 12 feet tall, 1,100 pounds. So, I mean, this thing weighs more than like a Kodiak bear. Yeah. I mean, it's a massive, massive guy. And then, he was asking about the body, like, where'd you guys get this thing? And they told him that they had heard, they didn't know, they never first had knowledge. They heard that a group of guys got lost somewhere out in Afghanistan. That this group was out there. These military guys were out there doing something, recon or something like that, and they weren't reporting back in. So they sent out another group to look for them. Another team went out to look for that first team. And when that second team found them, they found them either at the mouth of a cave or in a cave. I can't remember where, but it was in the vicinity of a cave. And they were all dead. And this gigantic humanoid was eating on one of them.
I had just turned 15 and I was an extra in Bad Boys 2.
Really?
And yeah, they were shooting this club scene and they brought me in and I was wearing a Stars and Stripes bikini and a red cowboy hat and like 6-inch heels. And they took me to Mike and he approved it and they said, you know, Michael, she's 15, so you can't sit her at the bar and she can't have a drink in her hand. So his solution to that problem was to then have me dancing underneath a waterfall getting soaking wet. And that's
perfectly wholesome.
At 15, I was in 10th grade. So that's sort of a microcosm of how Bay's
laughs.
mind works.
Yeah, well, that's really a microcosm of how all our minds works. But some of us have the decency to repress those thoughts and pretend that they don't exist.
Right.
Microcosm of how all our minds work.
I don't think so.
Some of us have the decency to repress those thoughts and pretend that they don't exist.
So these are the kind of things that make me really upset, right? So the width of Africa is 7,300 kilometers. The width of Russia is 6,300 kilometers. One more time. The width of Africa is 7,300 kilometers. The width of Russia is 6,300 kilometers.
We just don't know anything, I think.
Okay, check it out. Canada, USA, South America, Europe, Russia, China, India. This is to be portrayed as Africa, okay? You can fit Russia twice inside of Africa. Plus, you can fit China in there, India, all of Europe, and USA. Does it look like? Does Africa look like over here that you can fit all of it in there? No.
So if you like to eat McDonald's, Wendy's, Carl's Jr., let me show you what you're doing to your gallbladder. It's called sludge, and it's actually as ugly as it sounds. When you think of your gallbladder, it is in the right upper quadrant. So around here, this is my right, this is my left. Okay, so this would be my gallbladder here. This would be considered a normal gallbladder. I don't have any sludge and I don't have any stones. Also, this is a vessel down here. If you're an ultrasound tech, what is it? Now, this is what sludge will look like in the gallbladder. It is a thick mixture of bile, cholesterol crystals, calcium salt, and mucus. Ew. Hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what you're putting into your body. And no, it's not a one-time thing. It's more repetitive year after year after year of you eating the same food. Hopefully this helps. Bye.
Where are you going if America falls?
I don't think we survive, brother.
What?
I think red flashes. I don't think we make it out of this. There's no mentioning of this place anywhere in the scriptures, bro. Yet how many signs the Prophet Muhammad gave that came true? He said, soon the shepherds of our people, the Arabs, they're in the middle of the desert, nothing there, will compete with one another to make buildings that touch the sky. And when one builds one, the other will say, I'll make one even bigger. We're all the greatest skyscrapers in the world. These are his words, Danny Jones. You tell me how an illiterate Arab in pre-ancient Arabia, okay, illiterate, could have known that specifically.
Huh.
He said that men will marry men.
Wait, what's the answer? Is it Dubai or New York?
It's Dubai, bro.
It's Dubai, yeah, that's what I thought.
And Mecca. Saudi Arabia. They're building massive towers. They're going back and forth. Qatar, Dubai. Okay, they're building the biggest structures on earth in the same exact place that he said it would happen. How did he know?
And not only are they building, they're building unique, different looking buildings. Like, go look at all the downtowns across America where the skyscrapers, whatever are. They all look the same. Just square, boring, no design, like all the same. All the cities look the same, nothing but strip malls. Like, I've never been to Dubai or anything, but from the pictures they show, like, these are dope looking architecture.
No, but you see, like, that stuff is real though. Like, if you're an athlete, like, you can't really say and talk about a lot of things. That's one thing I didn't like. Yeah,
So that's okay. So you like being able to speak.
So you heard about the guy, the basketball dude?
Jaden Ivey.
Yeah. So it's like you can't even give your opinion on anything. It's like, bro, why are you talking? Now you're waiting.
Oh, so you're all for people talking and like speaking
yeah,
up.
But I it was always something in my mind, like, even just as a person, like, you can never just be 100% authentic if you have that.
All right, speak your mind. Fuck it. Go ahead.
No, I do.
He is.
Jaden Ivey's right.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you can't, these people that are put in front of the camera, these athletes that are put on the court, these politicians that are put in office, they're not allowed to speak their minds. They're allowed to speak what their team allows them to speak about. And anything other than that, if you say anything out of the box, you're kicked out. You're labeled this, you're labeled that, you're labeled this. And you're kicked out and you're preaching on the streets now. One day you're playing basketball on ESPN. The next day you're in the downtown New York talking and nobody's listening. Nobody's paying attention to you, right? That's what happens when you go against the grain. That's what happens when you say names, right? We always say that in these, like, these people come out and say, yeah, there was a director in 1990. Who was the director? I ain't going to say his name. But when you do say the names, that's when you get kicked out. So these people that are so-called, quote unquote, exposing the industry, they're really not. They're saying things that goes on that we all know, but there's no names being dropped, because if there is, they're going to get offed. They're going to get freaking put on medication or something. They're going to go crazy, right? They're going to disappear. They're going to off themselves. That's what happens when you say names or don't do what the team says to do.
Don't realize that the Titanic is almost gone. Like, it has about 30 years before it fully disintegrates. And yes, a lot of this has to do with rusticles and the bacteria that's eating it, but there's also been some human intervention that has not been great for the ship. Sure, there's some that are sightseeing like Ocean Gate, but there is a huge industry for goods that are taken from the Titanic. There have been thousands of items that have been retrieved from the Titanic, and a lot of them go for serious money. This kimono that was rumored to be worn by Lady Duff Gordon as she was escaping the sinking ship went for $75,000. This letter was actually retrieved from a body that was found in the wreckage. And in it, he says, if all goes well, I'll arrive in New York Wednesday morning. This wasn't recovered from the Titanic, but a menu was up for sale. And the most expensive thing to ever be sold was this violin from the group of musicians who were playing as the ship went down. In 2020, a company actually got the rights to cut into the ship in order to retrieve a radio, further damaging the boat. So the conversation for a long time has been, is it worth it to damage the boat in order to retrieve things? But now the conversation is just, is it worth it to go down there at all?
No, I'm dead serious. Cows do this every night, and it's actually kind of creepy. You go check on them during the day. Everything is fine. They're eating. They're walking. They're minding their own business. But at night, it's totally different. It's pitch black, and you shine a light out there to check them. Every single one is already going to be staring at you. Okay? They're not moving, and they don't even blink. Like they've already been watching you even before you got there. I don't know what's wrong, but I don't like it. Please, tell me I'm not the only one that's noticed this, but something ain't right.
It would take 34,000 billion watts of energy, traveling at 1/40th of a billionth of a second, to change the chemical makeup of a fine linen shroud to leave that image. And he said, we don't have that power on Earth. So a nuclear event happens on Sunday, April 5th, 8033. And that's why I tell people the Shroud of Turin is not a death cloth. It is a resurrection cloth. And better yet, it is an itemized receipt of how much Jesus loves you.
Nathan Hardiman, on January 2026, he was arrested in Area 51.
Oh boy.
This is so creepy and so
Oh
weird.
no, what?
When he was being questioned by these police officers, he is like just a normal looking dude. He's like, I know it sounds weird and strange, but I was sent here. This is part of a time dilation facility, and we are experiencing this now. He said, you may not remember. He said, I hope you remember it now. It's tied to Revelation. It's tied to heaven. And I was sent by NASA to investigate it. He had multiple military IDs, a NASA ID, and like, these are all fake. And he's like, they're not fake. He's like, I was sent here to observe this.
Man, dude, this is really scary.
Like the way he was presenting it is so spooky. Like he's like shaken because of like what he thinks is happening, like this time dilation. Time dilation is a real thing.
But it's a space thing.
Yeah, like so like when astronauts go up, time is different. I looked to see what's up with Nathan now. Nothing. No record of him being in jail. No record of him coming home. Nothing.
No.
Do you want to know why Asian people look young? It's because of our food. One of the biggest secret about, not really a secret, it's just people know about it, but I guess Western society don't know about this. They're always trying to do some kind of reverse aging thing. It's the food. It's the food you eat every single day. And one of the most important food you gotta eat a lot is beans. A lot of beans, a lot of seeds. This is why all the Chinese mom and dad always buying bags of like nuts at Costco. They're just always buying bags of nuts because they're really good for you. And there's a recipe that I'm going to share. It's called 八宝粥. It means a treasure porridge. You can eat it as a dessert. You can eat it as for breakfast. You can eat it as a snack. It's really good. It's literally like your 8 favorite beans together in an Instant Pot or like a slow cooker. I'll put some honey on there and it's good to go. So anyways, I'm gonna drop the recipe in my cookbook and stay tuned. It's gonna be in my bio. I hope you look young forever.
Kobe Bryant did not want to bend over. Kobe Bryant did not want to prostitute his daughters. Kobe Bryant was exposing the Clintons because they owed Kobe Bryant $500,000. They promised him $1 million, but they only gave him half for speaking at the Clinton Global Initiative a few years before his death. Kobe Bryant wanted to leave the system of Hollywood, along with Chadwick Boseman, along with Nipsey Hussle, and then they were unalived. Only if Kobe Bryant had Christ. Some say, oh, he was Catholic. Stop. You see, if Kobe had Christ, if Kobe had the Holy Spirit, if Kobe had the gift of discernment, he would be alive today. So the 2003 sexual assault allegations, why would the late Dr. Jerry Buss, former owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, send Kobe Bryant all the way to Eagle, Colorado to get his knee worked on as if there's no knee doctors here in Los Angeles County? They wanted to control Kobe. Kobe could not be controlled up until the summer of 2003. Let me get a drink of water.
Yo.
You know, a lot of athletes, I know they do that, right? They'll go, they play in LA, but, you know, this doctor in Colorado is like the best of the best for, you know, ACLs or his Achilles or whatever, you know. So I don't know. Maybe they sent him over there to do that. But, you know, if that's the case, he made a sacrifice for his, you know, his family, I guess. He didn't want his daughters to do this. You know, this is what I got to do for that. You know, that's what I'm going to do. But they're just slaves on the court, y'all. They're rich slaves. You know, these celebrities, these athletes, they're just well-paid slaves at the end of the day.
I made a post on X. Speaking of that,
I can't get on point, y'all.
I was responding to ASAP Rocky's latest
explain
interview
at the end of
with
the
Joe
video.
Budden talking about Rick Owens and how it's like, you know, dark and
been waiting to talk about this.
Devil imagery and whatnot. And I was like, hold up, bro, isn't this you? And I show a picture of him inside of a pentagram with him and his boys doing a ritual.
I mean, you got to think of it like this. The man had, I don't know if y'all seen the What's Up video by ASAP. They literally did a ritual.
Yeah, they're
literally
inside of a
were
pentagram.
inside of a pentagram. He had the book.
Why did the man
in his
stop?
hand.
Why did he stop dropping an album?
Why did he stop dropping
He
albums?
said every time he dropped the album, somebody in his family died. He said the last album he dropped, his sister died. Before that was his mama.
And then before that, then Yams.
Then Yams. They said that's why he stopped dropping albums. Why is that happening?
And then his boy in the video, in the Peso video, had an Aleister Crowley shirt on.
Late stage hybrids who are often, everything about them looks human, except maybe their eyes are too large and there's no bodily hair. They sometimes become personal project hybrids and will stay with somebody for decades.
So why are we just finding out that non-speaking autistic kids have superpowers? And I know you like superpowers. Yes, superpowers. There are studies that say non-speaking autistic kids can speak through telepathy. You heard what I just said, telepathy. That's unreal. But it's so godlike. Just hearing that alone shows me the power of God. And it's gonna be a lot of people like, where do you get that information from? If you need the information and you really wanna know about it, go listen to the telepathy tapes. That is a podcast about non-speaking autistic kids that basically have superpowers. So to break it down in layman's terms, they're studying these kids using devices, iPads, tablets, etc. And these kids communicate a very untraditional way. And where superpowers come into play is they don't even know that they're connected to a regular body. Meaning their frequency is so high, they think that they are one spirit. Wow. It's so crazy that some of them even have ongoing telepathy with their mother. And it may sound unbelievable that they were even able to know what their mother was doing when they wasn't even with them. That's different. Needless to say, this is something that's very interesting. I'm definitely gonna go down the rabbit hole because it's worth it.
I'm glad. I think we all have, I think they just use a different part of their brain, but I think we all have, I'm not going to say access to it, but we all have, it's all in there, right? Maybe we just don't know what frequencies to listen to, what, to tap into those. But, back in the day, other civilizations, I think they knew how to tap into them. And that's why we see all this architecture from back then that we're like, how the heck do they do this? Because they knew how to tap into it. They were in tune with the sky. They were in tune with nature. They were in tune with the animals, with the plants, with everything. And that does something to you, and you tap into these things because, you hear these people that say, they say they get possessed and then they just start speaking a different language, like that's never been, they never knew about it, or they hit their head and get a concussion and they wake up speaking Chinese or something. They know it, right? It's in there. We just don't know how to tap into it. And when you say you hit your head a certain way, you tap into it.
Drewski went full makeup because he's doing a parody. I said, I'm going to put out my old skit where I was a black man, but mine was a spoof of TV judges. I'm actually not going to shy away. I put it out there because I thought Drewski opened up the floodgates again. Once he did a white woman, I'm like, oh, it's good. This is on. I've never done blackface in my life. I've played black characters probably 5 times, and I'll take this one right with me and we'll fight all day about it. It's not blackface. It's acting. It's a character. It's prosthetic nose, lips, wigs, ears. I do this for women. I do this for Mexican characters. That's what you do. I play old people. That to me is acting. Jared Leto did it brilliantly in Dallas Buyers Club, Dustin Hoffman. There's no difference to me in that. There's no difference in that to me in the clump. It's just a matter of music, tone, lighting, score. I know you like to have your little boxes and think, oh, this is highbrow, this is a little bit. It's not to me. It's acting.
What are people why are people making a big deal about him doing this isn't the first time he's painted himself white, right? He did White Guys in the Hood. He did the NASCAR one. But just because they touched your little Republican queen, right? It shows you who the sellouts are, right? They pick and choose politics, right? They pick and choose oh, this one, they touched Erica Kirk. They touched the NASCAR guy. Nobody cared. Everyone thought it was funny. Hodge twins reacted to it, laughed at it, said this is the best thing ever. Did they even react to the Erica Kirk thing? I think there was a lot of Republican content creators that didn't even touch that. They didn't even touch the Epstein files. They didn't even touch those things. I paid attention to that, Mr. Officer Tatum, the Hodge twins. You know, they didn't, I don't think, I haven't really looked for a while. I've been busy, right? But I don't even think they touched that Erica Kirk thing. Because if they do, the video before they were laughing at him doing NASCAR, and now they're going to come over here and they can't say this is terrible because they get paid by the right, y'all. And I'm a big Hodge Twins fan, y'all. Back in the day, like I still watch those videos today when they're just eating in the car. So, you know, I don't got no hatred towards them, but I'm just saying, like, just sell out, y'all. Just sell out. I would never do that. I would never do that for some money. I like to just speak my mind.
Doing in heaven. I've heard that you have jobs.
I don't say jobs, I say passions, because you do what you love, but it's for his glory. There are bakeries and there's pilots, there's sprinters, and it all is involving praise for him. Like there's no escape of him. He's in every left, right, up and down. For example, there's those who are in media, even these right here, they're filming this show right now and doing an awesome job. The Lord will actually start training them here on the earth for what they will be doing in heaven. As they're found faithful with this role, you'll see in heaven, the media isn't just something that's on a screen, but it's encapsulating. And there's theaters in heaven that you don't just watch, but as you attend the theater, you are immersed in the moment.
Okay, so tell me from the beginning.
So the first place that we went to in Indonesia was Komodo Island. We hadn't even checked in. Like, we technically didn't exist in Indonesia. And my parents really wanted to go see the Komodo dragons. So we went to Komodo Island and went into that restricted area and anchored there. And we went ashore to go take pictures of the Komodo dragons.
Did you see one for real?
Yeah.
They didn't try to attack you guys?
Oh, we had two friends that came with us, and they literally had to sprint because there was Komodo dragons chasing them back to their dinghy, so they had to like get off the beach. And then we were still like in the woods. So
you were in the woods?
Yeah, because there's like all the palm trees and stuff that grow everywhere. And I had kind of just like ventured, I was like 12. So I just ventured off because I was just like, oh, this is cool. I'm just exploring an island that's uninhabited. And I wasn't like fully aware that, you know, Komodo dragons are deadly. So I just thought, oh, there's these really cool big lizards. And then my parents kind of freaked out a little bit because they couldn't find me. And I went in the woods. But yeah, we got a lot of pictures of them.
June the 29th, 6 a.m., we switch off the Large Hadron Collider for 4 years. We're replacing about 1.2 kilometers of the 27-kilometer ring with the high luminosity LHC magnets. This will give us a machine that's 10 times brighter than the Large Hadron Collider, 10 times more data. So it really is an opportunity to explore the universe in a way we haven't done before. And what that does is when the particles come around and then we bend them towards each other, if you make the bunches of protons smaller and smaller, you get many, many more collisions. You concentrate everything in the same place. That's what these super high field magnets are doing. Installing this is a massive task. It's by far the biggest thing that CERN has done for the last 20 years. And what we're doing here in this building is this is a test ring. We're testing the technology, and it's much easier to test it here rather than in the confined spaces of the LHC tunnel. And we've already learned some really critical information about some of the design of this. We've updated the design based on our tests. And it's amazing to be here today that this is now operating, it's at its operating temperature of 1.9 Kelvin. So this is a superconducting liquid helium system operating at 1.9 Kelvin. That was a massive milestone for us in this project. So we're now confident that when we go underground and start installing the high luminosity Large Hadron Collider, we will be successful. We know what we're doing. We've tested the installation procedures here.
Afghanistan produces 93% of the world's heroin. Almost all of it goes to Russia and Iran. And we want them to be addicted to heroin. It weakens their societies. It weakens their cultures. It's exactly what the Chinese are doing to us with fentanyl today. But he said, they're never going to let you blow the whistle on Poppy. And sure enough, Kerry comes to my office after it was all said and done. He's like, listen, I think it's not a good idea to publish this paper. And I thought, man, they got to you easy. And it wasn't just with Poppy. There was another thing. I got a call one day from a human rights activist, pretty well known in Washington, serious human rights, not one of these people that screams on the street corner, like a serious intellectual. And he says, I need to see you. It's got to be secret. And I said, okay. I said, where do you want to meet? He said, there's an empty classroom. It's like room 204 at Johns Hopkins. I'll meet you there in an hour. I said, okay. So I go over there, go into Johns Hopkins, find the classroom. And he says, listen, have you ever heard of the Dashti Lele massacre? And I said, of course. On November 30th and December 1st of 2001, in the northern Afghan city of Dashti Lele, the entire Taliban contingent gave up. 2,000 people gave up to the Northern Alliance. So the Northern Alliance calls us and says 2,000 Taliban gave up. What do we do with them? And we said, let's truck them out into the desert and we'll just hold them there until we can divide them up into smaller groups and put them in jails all around Afghanistan, because there wasn't a prison in the country big enough to hold 2,000 people. So the Northern Alliance boxed them up. We called it the box up, the Dashti Lele box up. They put them in these containers on trucks with no air holes, no food, and no water. 2,000 men. One of the 14 who lived said that when they opened the trucks, the bodies fell out like sardines from a can. Well, General Abdurrashid Dostum, who was anti-Taliban, then pro-Taliban, then anti-Taliban again, then pro-Taliban again, he's the one who ordered them into these trucks. And we were certain that he did it specifically to murder them. He knew that they couldn't breathe in those trucks. He knew that there was no water in those trucks. He said that he had a witness who was 12 years old at the time and was hiding behind a rock when the bodies started falling out of the truck. And there were 2 men there wearing blue jeans and black t-shirts and speaking English. So he says to me, who's going to be wearing blue jeans and black shirts and speaking English in Dashti Lele, Afghanistan on December the 1st, 2001? I said, well, obviously. I said, I'll write them a letter and ask for clarification. And the only reason I felt somewhat bold on this issue was that it actually came up in the 2008 campaign, and Barack Obama said that if elected, he would get to the bottom of the Dashti Lele massacre.
Disney just deleted the movie. It doesn't exist anymore, and I'm upset about it. They just got rid of it.
Which one?
That Togo movie I was telling you about the sled dog.
That was like the good one?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good movie.
Why'd they get rid of
it? Apparently with digital media, if you decide it's not like making enough money or whatever, you can just agree to never sell it or stream it again, basically delete it from existence, and then claim it as a tax write-off. So Disney did that with like 20 movies where they just like, these don't exist anymore, and they got a $1.5 billion tax write-off, which seems like bullshit to me.
I think they did that to Sling Blade too. Like not for the tax write-off reason, at least not that I know of, but like I think
they got rid of Sling Blade.
I don't think there's any way to watch. Yeah,
that is a phenomenal movie.
I don't think there's any way to watch it now. Like no streaming platform has it. Like you have to buy a physical copy.
Well, that's the other kicker with it too, is people were bringing up that when they do that, it fucks over the actors, because a lot of the actors, when they sign a deal or agree to do a movie, they
get
do
residuals.
It for royalties.
Yeah.
Well, now there's no residuals or whatever for all these actors, and that's like part of their pay. Like you shouldn't be allowed to just be like, I'm deleting it from existence and now I don't have to pay you. Like, man, it's crazy.
So now they gotta have like a stipulation in their contract where it's like, hey, if you decide to delete
I should get
this,
some
like,
of that tax write-off.
Yeah.
Seriously. You can delete it, but give me 10% of that tax write-off. That'd be a shit ton of money.
The $1.5 billion tax write-off? Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah.
Did you see that exploding mic theory? Did you guys talk about that on here?
I've heard that theory, but I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I've heard people talk about it, but I hadn't looked into it. It looks like he got shot. I don't know if the microphone's going to hit you in the neck. Like, how do you know where the mic's pointing? You're moving around a lot. How do you know when to make it go
That's
off?
a good point. They had it like on his shirt at a specific spot. But yeah, you're right. How would you know? But then the place where
it sounds like a gunshot, though. And there's a delay between the gunshot and the impact in terms of like acoustic readings. And I think somebody did an analysis of the distance they believe the shot was taken from based on the sound. You know, if that is the round that they use, 30-06, based on the sound of the gunshot going off and the amount of time before it impacts them. It's a very small amount of time, but it is measurable. And they think that it might have actually been closer than what they're saying, which is, I think, 100 and something yards. I forget what the exact distance was. What was the exact distance, supposedly? I think it was like 140 yards or something like that. But the weird thing is, like, this whole idea of assembling and disassembling, it doesn't work like that, man.
It was not lying. Well, they're not going to, like, say, put a microphone on them and shoot them and there's no gunshot. Like, people are going to say, we didn't even hear a gunshot, right? They're going to have somebody out there probably shoot a 30-06 up in the air. So you hear the gunshot. But he's moving. How are they going to know? Bro, you don't think they got sensors on these things? You think there's just some guy that's just going to push a button randomly, right? He's going to have some headphones on, right? He's waiting. Or he's got some glasses on, right? They got meta glasses. He got something that the lines line up or something. Sensors, right? When it beeps, go. Ding, boom, perfect. Right? They got something, y'all. They ain't dumb. They're not dumb. They know what they're doing. For something like that, that's going to be on national TV and all that, they got something that's out of this world.
He said that if it says, like, frozen dairy dessert, it's not ice cream. That all says frozen dairy dessert. Even at Turkey Hill, I know some of y'all probably killing the Turkey Hill. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. That's ice cream. You see what I'm saying? It's an ice cream. What else? Now, there's Turkey Hill that said something else. Hold on. Frozen dairy dessert. You see what I'm saying? Now,
$1 cheaper.
This is my ice cream, bro. Tillable. This is ice cream. This also says ice cream. That's real ice cream. The Bluebell. I never tried this, but this real
Bluebell's
ice cream.
good. The pistachio?
Yo, that's the same, man. Stop eating no fake ice cream.
This hotel is
Pistachio Bluebell.
cursed. There's been a lot of deaths in this hotel. People die of natural causes. They die of taking their own lives. People have been murdered here. There's also been people who have died from a strange bacterial infection that they picked up here. This place is not shy of the paranormal by any means. Hey, it's me, Mackenzie Marie, and today I am investigating the most haunted hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, the Luxor, famous for its black pyramid shape, huge sphinx, and the sky beam, which is the brightest beam of light in the world that can be seen from space. Over 1,100 tourists die visiting Las Vegas every year, and a large amount of those deaths are from either or murder. One of the most iconic hotels on the Vegas Strip is said to be not only haunted, but also cursed. And it began right from the start in 1992 during the construction of the pyramid. Multiple workers fell and tragically lost their lives due to the complex angle and shape of the pyramid. The hotel's main lobby is one of the most prominent active spots in this hotel. Reportings have repeatedly said the Luxor was associated with people who died by jumping from the hotel's interior hallway balconies. And a lot of people have jumped. Some guests report hearing strange sounds, apparitions, and even feeling like someone is choking them while they're asleep. Could the Luxor, with its modern pyramid design, have opened something beyond this world?
What's the deal with the ocean? That's probably the number one question. Things are under the water. And, you know, supposedly the craft that the sport model was an archaeological recovery, and that itself was underwater. So what is the deal with the water? I mean, it's by far the biggest medium of the planet. I mean, if you want to hide people down there, almost an entire civilization down there, you could do it in the ocean, as long as you do it deep enough and away from people. Why is it the Navy? The Navy paid me. I always said the Navy. Everything has been the Navy instead of the Air Force. What's the deal with the ocean? That's probably the number one question.
See, this is why people question the moon. This is why people question NASA. Because this is a NASA spending apparently billions of dollars, right? Sending people to the moon for the first time in 50 years. And this is what they show us? CGI, right? Showing us a bunch of people in an office somewhere. This is what we're getting. Bro, where is the live feed of space? Where is the live feed of what's going on? Why are they showing us this? And I don't want to hear that they can't do it, right?
Yeah,
now when you
for
got
reals.
these like 16, 17-year-olds with a backpack going on Kick, getting on live in remote places of the world, NASA can get it done. NASA, if they really could, would have like I don't know, man, like a GoPro on a stick or something. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
No 22-year-old should be looking like this, bro. I mean, this is absolutely insane. The guy needs a CPAP machine to go to bed to get proper airflow into his lungs. Look at Sam Sulak and these guys when they're holding this much amount of size. They're like, I'm hungry. Like, you'll hear them do this shit, bro. It's because their airways are so tightened up. They're holding so much tissue. They're having to get that excess amount of oxygen into their system. They can't even talk without getting fatigued. He will eventually run into a catastrophe, or again, he's going to be forced to downsize. One of the two, bro. It's one of the two.
It's so crazy that this is what the fitness industry turned into. Like back in the day, being on steroids was an insult, right? I grew up on Chris Jones. When I started like really watching fitness YouTube and working out, Chris Jones, Christian Guzman, the Hodge twins, CT Fletcher and all them, whatever they were on, whatever. But, these people, who else? There's a lot. Nick, was his name Nick Wright? I just forgot about him, but they were so against that. Like people would leave them comments like you're on steroids, and they'd say like that's a compliment to a natural bodybuilder. Like now, these people are just coming out freaking yoked and telling you they're on steroids, making a video going. I used to watch this dude, Goody Beats. Goody Beats, he did keto, right? I used to watch his keto videos, and his dad took him to go get steroids. Dog. His dad took him to go get steroids, y'all. They made a video of it. He made a video going to get the shot of steroids. And I'm like, man, this is I haven't been to the gym in a while, y'all. I'm about to buy some kettlebells and start working out in the garage, doing something different, y'all. But like these people are just putting it out there now. Like this is probably what the young kids now are on, these testosterone and all these crazy drugs at a young age now. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I remember watching a scene out of the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? The Predator 1, Predator 2.
Yeah.
And at the end of one of those, I think it was the part 2, you see him come out and he takes out like these artifacts, kind of showing like we've been around forever, and he brings out like a musket that looks, it's like from the 1600s or the 1500s when there were pirates. Which is interesting.
Absolutely. And that's where, of course, ancient astronaut theory comes in, because ancient astronaut theorists say that we've been visited, throughout human history by extraterrestrials.
White Boy Rick was somebody who was caught selling crack, and you had Coleman Young, the mayor, who was pretty corrupt, and then you had the FBI who caught him and said, hey, here's some more crack, just go into the city and find out who the dealers are. Then when White Boy Rick got brought in by the city, the FBI was like, we didn't do that. We'd never put crack into a black community. We don't know. We've never seen this kid in our life. So this kid, White Boy Rick, ends up going to prison for like 30 years. He's like 17. They try to name him as a kingpin. And he served the longest time because Coleman Young was pissed he was dating his niece. He goes away, and then while he's in jail, they have him sign a thing that said he stole a car so his sister didn't have to go to jail. They let him out for all this wrongdoing that he never did. And then he has to go right from that jail to Chicago to serve time for stealing a car while he was in prison. His story is crazy. The Purple Gang was ruthless, man. They were probably the first Jewish gang. They had Irish members as well. They were the Bernstein brothers. Their parents owned a shoe store, and like the legend is they were called purple because that was the color of rancid meat. When you see pictures of them all lined up in like mug shots, like they would do stuff like walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I like your ring. And they'd be like, thanks. And then a guy would just like cut the dude's finger off and he would take his ring. The level of cruelty these guys would inflict on people to take over a city was next level. Capone wouldn't mess with them because he was over in Chicago and needed some of these guys to supply the liquor.
Is a conspiracy about Arby's true? Is Arby's McDonald's 2.0? Tell me how many people you know walk into this establishment and buy all of this meat Because that's all I see right there. This Arby's shit is about to hit the fan. Why does the menu have people acting like this? What the fuck? And this is the menu he's talking about. You got people that work in Arby's that say the customer walk-in don't add up with the money that they're supposed to be getting. So how is Arby's still in business? So I had to jump down that rabbit hole. Mind you, Arby's has been dealing with the same rumor since 1997. And the rumor is the roast beef isn't roast beef. Ever since 2012, when that 14-year-old boy bit into a piece of Arby's sandwich, and a piece of a finger was in his mouth, part of it was in a sandwich, shit ain't been the same. You heard what I just said? Someone bit into an Arby's sandwich, and there was a human finger in his sandwich. Allegedly, a worker was cutting meat and sliced her finger off, but it was in the sandwich. Mind you, that happened more than one time on different occasions. Another worker, quote unquote, sliced their thumb off, and it was in a sandwich. And I'm not telling you not to eat Arby's. I'm telling you to go down that rabbit hole. People that worked at Arby's had a couple of things to say about Arby's.
I met the Whitakers in 2003.
Oh, you met them 15 years before putting them on YouTube?
This is a crazier story. Where do you even begin your search?
My assistant Axel and I were driving through Kentucky and West Virginia. I was at a gas station, met a cop, told him what I'm doing, and he goes, "Oh man, I could show you some crazy shit." Like he said, "Make sure you bring video cameras." And I'm just like, I don't do videos. If I had done what the cop asked me to do and shot video of the Whitakers, I would have posted that video on YouTube, 2004, I think it was.
Oh,
this is a crazier story.
You met them 15 years before putting them on YouTube?
I met the Whitakers probably in 2003. But originally the Whitakers were just somebody I discovered for that first book I was working on when we went there with the cop. And it just looks like that scene from Deliverance, but times 100. It was the craziest shit ever because everyone's walking around. Everyone's eyes are going in different directions. Nobody's got any teeth. One guy is barking like a dog. Everyone else is just staring at you like they're insane. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. And the cop says to me, "I told you to bring a video camera."
Wow.
And it was like, yeah, you were right.
If you think Freemasons are good, watch this.
I'm trying to concentrate, but Mr. O'Neill's ring, that's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that. Okay, can we get a close-up on that area? What?
My grandfather, ladies and gentlemen, I love him. I miss him. He's a great man. But my grandfather was a Freemason. Because of my loyalty, it's tempting to water down the fact that Freemasonry is witchcraft. But Travis, my grandfather's a good man. My DP is a good man. Being good and being free ain't the same thing. And the higher you go in degrees, the darker the rituals become. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about blood. We're talking about skulls. We're talking about satanic rituals. This information wasn't given to me by YouTube. This information was given to me because I had the privilege of praying for a 32nd degree Freemason. I had the privilege of using praying oil to remove his Mason ring. I had the privilege of helping him renounce the pledges he made. Every fraternity had founders within them that were Freemason, high-ranking Freemason. It is unwise for you to think they were involved in witchcraft. It did not bring that influence into that organization.
Fraternities are full of stuff and practices that are super demonic. And let me tell you this, you want to know one of the biggest founders of religion that was a 33-degree Freemason was Joseph Smith, the Mormon. You know what's I find funny about the world is they discount stuff because they have no revelation or understanding in what's going on in the world. Yeah, if you're like a second or third degree Freemason, you don't see any of the stuff that's super demonic. But like he said, he got the privilege of leading a 32nd Freemason to the Lord and changing their lives. And you know there's demonic stuff. You know there's witchcraft. You know there's rituals. There's stuff going on. You might not know it from the skim of the low level, but the higher you go, the more stuff you got to do. And so, listen, if you know anyone that's a Freemason or you're a Freemason yourself, repent, turn away from it. You can't serve two gods. You can only serve one God, and that God, his name is Jesus. So surrender your life to Jesus today. Repent of your sins. He's willing to forgive you. Or go to hell over practicing witchcraft and living in it. Choice is yours. Love you. Subscribe or follow for more.
Watch this.
How bad was it like when addiction hit you guys' band and stuff? Was that pretty crazy?
Yeah. When you're shooting fucking Jack Daniels in your arm because you ran out of heroin, when you could just drink the fucking Jack and be like, oh, I just fucking drink. we're out of heroin. Who does that? We're doing such dumb, dangerous shit that everybody was like, all right, that's it. We're all going to do this together. It was like 89. We all went to rehab.
It's insane the amount of stories these guys have or Ozzy have. What they put their body through was insane. It would just, I'm surprised it didn't take them out earlier on, because some of the stories are insane. And I don't know if you've seen The Dirt, but Nikki Sixx dies in that movie at one point because of a heroin overdose. He gets revived. They put like 2 adrenaline shots in his heart when he was in the ambulance. And hours later, after he's out, he does heroin again, trying to chase the high that killed him, which is insane. And then another part in the movie, Ozzy shows up and...
This girl was totally freaked out when she saw her reflection in this mirror at the museum. That's because this is a unique mirror that actually shows you what you look like from other people's perspective. While a regular mirror shows you a flipped or reversed image of your face, this mirror, called the true mirror, actually shows you exactly what other people see. That's why so many people get shocked when they look into this thing for the first time.
Why is Scrub Daddy this size? Because it's my hand. This is actually my hand. So I cut this to fit my hand for cleaning my hands. And it did great, except that I didn't want to go around my fingers. So I cut a hole so I could just clean my fingers like this. And then I wanted to get underneath my fingernails. So I cut some ridges so I could go like this. But this was kind of weird to do it with. But if you cut 2 holes, it's really easy to do it. And the next thing you know, this has 2 eyes, no mouth, some hair, and we're sitting around. I'm like, I can't be the only one that has dirty hands. And we patent it without the mouth, and we start trying to sell it. And nobody wants a expensive piece of German engineered polymer for $4 to clean their dirty hands in that market. They all would rather just go home with dirty hands. Nobody wanted it. And it was sitting in a box. I thought it was a piece of junk. We took 100 samples that we had made that no one wanted. We put them in a box. I labeled it scrap. That Scrub Daddies were sitting in for 5 years. From 2008 until 2011. And literally, I start hearing the angels sing. If I have a smile on this thing, I can clean the silverware. I grab a steak knife, I cut a smile in it, I put the dirty spoon in, I squeeze it and pull, and it's clean on both sides. And that's it. I'm done. I know immediately I'm going to the office the next day. We're going to create a package. We're going to make a smile face. I'm patenting the smile face, and we're going into the sponge business, and we're going to take the whole thing.
You know, that's how it happened, y'all. Like, you'll hear a little voice, right? I heard a voice once. I've heard a voice, and what it told me is kind of why I'm at where I'm at now, right? That little voice. And that's how it happened. Like, that dude just had he said this, the heavens started singing. He hit it. A thought came to his head. Clean silverware with this, cut a mouth, right? And look at it now. It's in every store, every convenience store. It's on TV, right? Like, just from that little thought when he was sitting on his couch, you know, watching TV, it came to him like, oh damn, like that's how it happens.
I mean, I respect the
cool.
fact you fell off at the end.
Yeah. Put another beat on. Shit.
Nah, because all I got is old man beats and you're not built for
Hey,
that.
listen. It's gonna be a lot of young guys coming up here, and they ain't gonna want to rap on
radio station shut down.
Yo, look,
it's changing.
No, I hope they change.
It's changing, bro.
I hope they change. But as I've seen with all you little young motherfuckers that think you nice.
Yeah.
He is pretty nice. You nice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all get to like 27, 28, and y'all niggas get to struggling, and y'all be trying to come back and find that sound.
I ain't gonna struggle, bro.
All right, we're gonna see.
We gonna
see. Oh, you gonna learn. And guess what? I'm gonna be here.
Yeah. It's gonna be totally different too. Like I'm gonna be all the way a rock star by then.
So, you know, have you seen
Played out good. Like, I like to they that radio station, I don't know, the whole station, the Hot 97 station, or just that morning show, they're done. They don't exist no more. They didn't adjust with the times. They hated on the people coming up, and they didn't adjust with the times, and they shut down, right?
Kardashian's recent Skims ad?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, see, the whole time. So I seen her in paparazzi pictures, and she had a newspaper saying, oh, aliens are real or something like that. Something about aliens, right? But her new Skims ad is her in there was a bunch of Kim Kardashian clones, and then it zoomed out into a spaceship that they were in, and then it flew off. So I realized what the meaning of Skims means.
What does it mean?
Oh my gosh, look. So in 2015, there's a film called Jupiter Ascending. The term skim refers to the harvesting of humans from Earth to process into Regeneration X, a new youth serum product.
Oh shit!
Remember we talked about
I watched that movie before.
Yeah. That's what skims means, though.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There was this one artist. I forgot the exact name, but if you look at his art, all of his paintings are straight up his experiences he's had being abducted by aliens. And he claims, what he claims is there was this female alien that appeared to him, took him, and pretty much breeded with him.
Yeah.
And all of these other aliens would watch. Yeah. And they would bring him to like a spaceship, and he saw like different types of aliens there. And then they would continue to breed him and then let him go on his way.
But he would like draw.
He would paint his experiences, which he thought was also just like his dreams, but he wasn't sure.
Tommy Mottola is a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm gonna say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
No, please don't videotape what I'm gonna say, okay? Turn that off, please. No, what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Marco is getting gangster today!
So Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tommy, came to me crying. She was crying so bad I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil. And she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being.
People started to know that Michael Jackson died protecting kids from perverts like Epstein and Diddy, and he created Neverland just for that. Now, as a Michael Jackson fan, I've been watching documentaries my whole life about this dude. Now, recently, these two pictures of the Michael Jackson release included to the Epstein files. Once where he's standing beside Jeffrey Epstein, and the second one was with him, Diana Ross, along with Bill Clinton and the three children whose face was covered in the statements. Now, Michael was invited by Bill to perform, and that marked as his final live performance during his lifetime in the US. Diana Ross was there as a special guest, and she performed with Michael. And that was it, guys. Just because his picture was seen with these suckers doesn't mean he was included with their wrongdoings. Of course, like who would have not saved pictures of this man? Now, the last picture was the court papers of the Mike proven not guilty of all counts. Michael Jackson was innocent, guys, and that was it.
One of the big thrust vectors in Silicon Valley right now relating to reproductive rights has to do with the development of artificial wombs. You know, these wealthy, privileged people don't want to carry their own babies. And I guess surrogates are too cumbersome or risky.
So they're really talking about
it's
a
not
baby
talking. It's not talking. We're going to run an essay about this soon. They already have a lamb that they have grown de novo in an artificial womb. We're there. Okay,
talking about it, they're doing
This is a 1956 Frigidaire washer. I want to show you guys how quickly it'll empty this tub and get up to 1100 RPMs of spin speed. Watch this.
Probably lasts forever too, obviously, right? Still working. Working good.
And it's there.
All right, family. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to get this outro out quick and fast. I got family downstairs. They're leaving tomorrow. So I'm going to go down there, spend the last little bit of time I got with them. Carne asada today for the final dinner with everybody. So it's going to be a good Monday. Y'all hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm going to see you guys on Wednesday for the next one. This is Segovia signing out. Later.